What's going on? Connor Thomas from CoachConnorThomas.com. Essentially what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today is the mechanics of the squat and how to perform your squat in a more functional way. Therefore, you can make the most benefit of your squat for performance and functionality and pain prevention. A lot of people when they squat tend to have some ankle issues, maybe some pain in the feet, some pain in the knees, and obviously a common one, some lower back pain as well. So I'm going to be showing you guys some tips, some tricks, how to correct your squat, and even just how to correct your sitting down and standing up. As we know, every time that we do sit down and stand up, it is mimicking our squat pattern. So if we can perfect this motor skill and really get down that pattern, we will be able to perform better in the gym, but also limit pain that's coming from these areas such as the knees, the lower back, and so on and so forth. All right, let me start off by saying, if you are new to the gym and you have never done a squat before, please do not start off your first workout with doing a squat. Now you're probably asking why. Why can't everyone just start in the gym by squatting? Like I said previously, we do it every time we sit down and we stand up. Now when we're doing a weight-bearing squat, so when we have a bar loaded, maybe a kettlebell, a dumbbell, anything that is bearing weight onto our body, we are now using force and exertion to actually push that weight up off of our body. And that is because if you do not have the strength in your quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, or even calves to exert the force off your back when you are squatting, then you should not be squatting. That's just going to lead to injuries. It's going to have some shitty form associated with it, and we just want to make sure that we're making the best out of our squat from the beginning. So what we need to do is we need to strengthen the quadriceps, the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves as well, even our ankles, which I will talk about later. And then we need to make sure that they're flexible, that they're mobile before we even think about performing the squat. All right, so let me break it down for the lower extremities. In the lower extremities, when we're performing a squat, it's going through two joint patterns, but we're actually engaging three joints. So the largest one being the hips. The hips are really supporting our squat. It's the biggest joint in this joint movement pattern. The second one being our knees. The knees are a little bit less stable. We have four ligaments supporting them and some smaller muscle groups, which makes them a little less stable than the hips. The hips are a lot bigger than the knee joint, which means that they're a lot more stable. They have a lot more muscles surrounding them, so they're able to take a lot more weight, pressure, and movement. What we need to remember as well is since there's a lot more muscles around them, the hips are also known to tighten up a lot faster than the knees. So what we focus on in the squat, we push our hips back, allowing the pressure to fall back onto our hips and off of our knees. This also shifts the weight from our toes onto our heels, which allows us to be a lot more explosive and functional throughout our squat. Secondly, the knees. What are our knees doing during our squat? Well, they're allowing our quads to extend and they're supporting our hamstrings and glutes. Our knees are also stabilizing us. So what we want our knees to be doing is pushed out as an alignment towards our toes so that our hips and our knees are also being pushed out to prevent injury. Now the third and last joint that people seem to forget about when they're squatting, and the one that is usually the least mobile, causing our form to kind of look like this during a squat, so a good morning as opposed to an upright back, is lacking ankle mobility. A lot of people when they're squatting wear these raised heel shoes. You'll see it a lot in Olympic lifting and powerlifting. Now what that does is it mimics this ankle mobility to put us on a natural deficit, but in this case, a natural elevation on the posterior chain. If we do not have natural ankle mobility, you are going to find yourself in a very bent over position, kind of like a good morning, because you will not be able to hit that proper depth. Ankles need to be mobile and then flexible. So, what are some exercises that we can do to strengthen our ankles, maybe get them mobile, get them moving? Well, the simplest things as ankle rolls. We can simply just roll out our ankles, see if we have a good range and rotation. Both of them. Secondly, if you have a band at home or you have a band at your gym, you can get a band. I will demonstrate this. You can get a band tied around the bottom of a squat rack and just simply lunge into the band just so we can get some mobility in our ankles. All right, now to talk about the upper extremities during a squat. Essentially what we need is for our shoulders to be mobile, our chest to be open, but also to maintain that core strength. What that's going to help you with is maintaining that neutral spine and avoiding you to fall into your squat, which is then going to look like a good morning, which is why people complain that they have that lower back pain. The more that we're putting a weight-bearing object on our back and falling into it, we're extending at the spine and putting our spine in a very awkward position. Our spine is not supposed to have 100, 200, 300 pounds in that awkward position while we're trying to maintain that weight on our heels. If we're trying to push the weight on the posterior chain, but falling into a forward flexion, that's not a good sign for our body, and we're not supposed to move nor operate in that sense. What I mean about keeping that chest open and having our shoulders mobile, if I get underneath this bar, and I have no mobility in my shoulders, nor an open chest, I'm going to be flaring my elbows out like this, which let's say I have 100 pounds on the bar. If my elbows are flared out like this, where do you think that weight's going? It's putting all the stress onto the elbow joint, which is a very small joint that is not supposed to take this pressure. So let's wrap that in. If you cannot open your chest up widely, nor retract your scapula, some stretches that you need to do is with a TRX, simply open up your chest, or simply just do a door frame walk to open up your chest to really allow you to get under that bar in a functional way, but also to open up your chest and to engage your core, which will then allow your squat to look and feel much better. So like I said, we push the hips out, that's taking the pressure off the knee joint. We keep that chest high, we squat down, and right back up. Now something I know that I lack, which I mentioned before, is that ankle mobility. So if you saw on my squat, I'm fine for reaching that depth, but once I hit 90 degrees, I start to fall into that good morning position. That's because I need to work on ankle mobility. To end this video off, if you cannot squat, don't squat. There's things in fitness called regressions. To regress from a position. If you do not feel comfortable underneath a loaded bar, use something such as a box. It's gonna mimic you sitting down and standing up every day, and it's gonna adjust your body in a position that it wants to sit in. So if we can fix these muscles, our quads, our hamstrings, our glutes, our ankles, our knees, our hips, everything, this movement is so complex. If we can fix all of that by regressing it, our body is going to be a lot more comfortable and a lot more pain-free and functional on a day-to-day basis. So the simplest thing, if we get a box, it mimics a bench. We stand next to the box. Focus on keeping that chest open. We can even bring our arms back and just simply sit down. Our body is now programming itself, this motor skill, so that we can now adapt to sitting down in a proper motion, which is then going to transfer over to a day-to-day lifestyle motion as well. So how about this? We grab a box, we assess our squat, we put our knees shoulder width apart, our feet shoulder width apart, our toes pointed slightly outwards. We keep our chest open, our core engaged, and we just focus on this simple movement pattern. The more that we can program our brain to sit down and stand up properly, the more this is going to transfer over to our performance inside the gym and our performance in life. That's going to do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed that. Please like the video, leave a comment down below, let me know what you liked, disliked, hit the subscribe button, and look out for that next video.